Diaries of Little Larry, age 13, Part 2. These stories are exactly as I have written in my diary, but I have changed some of the people's names just because. Dear Diary, today we went up to Oak Lodge for the working day there. It was fun. First, the ladies did the garden clipping, so Emily and I collected all the rubbish from that and put it in wheelbarrows and took it to the dump place where you dump leaves, just a small heap around the back. One particularly annoying one was the bougainvillea bush. The pricks prickled me and poor Auntie Joan's hands and arms were all bloody from it. Then Emily and I went and watched the men lopping trees. It was a really magnificent sight. There was 2 men in a crate thing that moves up and down and they were cutting off huge tops of trees. It was great watching how all the men worked together, some pulling the rope so the huge branch would fall in the right place, some checking that the area was clear, some cutting up other huge branches so we could put them on the truck, and 2 people up there, one cutting and the other operating the crate thing. And the big reward at the end, seeing the huge branch crash to the ground. Anyway, then we took the wood on the truck to the wood heap, and then us kids sat on the back of the truck while everyone put the branches of leaves on the back. It was so fun getting buried in leaves and lying on the soft leaves. Then we had to get in the cabin of the truck, and only those who could fit could go because we had to go on the road. So Emily sat on one seat with Rebecca on her knee, and Neom sat on the other with me on his knee. I didn't like that very much. Dear Diary, I had an okay day today. I was talking to Whoopi just then, and he is really mad because of what my music teacher said. I was talking to her and she asked why Whoopi moved to Queensland, and I said, I don't know, I guess because he has a girlfriend there? And she said, oh, so he goes and gets kissy with her and comes home with germs goodness knows where. And I'm like, I don't think so. And now Whoopi wants to put in an official complaint. Dear Diary, yesterday I went with Emily to watch Bradley play basketball. It was heaps of fun. I'm going to join a team and so is Emily, but I'm scared that I won't be good enough. Oh well, after school we had Uncle Rex and Stan over for tea. Then we went for a sing. Yahoo! I beat Philip's score at pinball on the computer. I'm so happy. I've been trying to do that for ages. The high score board looks like this. Number 4, no one can beat me, which was me. Number 3, even you can be wrong, which was Philip. Number 2, yes I can, Larissa, which was Philip. Number 1, you were wrong too, which was me. It's really funny. It's like a conversation except with high scores. Dear Diary, I'm just sitting in bed listening to 80s music. I'm heaps happy. I beat Philip's score again at pinball on the computer. I've got another diary now because I'm going through this one so quickly. I am planning to have a whole shelf of diaries. Most of the stuff in here I find stupid and a waste of writing, but you're like a best friend, or even more, because some things in here I wouldn't tell anyone, so you're sort of like my mind, except I'm sort of scared to write all my feelings, especially the bad feelings, because when I read this again, I'll think I'm stupid. Oh well, this is me and I'll have to take me as I am, I guess, because I can't run away from myself. I got basketball shorts today. I'm still not sure that I want to play basketball as a team. It's annoying because I'm not so good and I'm scared of letting the team down. Also, the shorts look heaps dorky on me. I got a new pair of sneakers today. I don't know how long they'll last me, but I love my mum so much, I don't know what I'd do without her. I hope she stays around for a long time. Don't tell anyone. I'm really scared because mum is going to Victoria for 2 weeks to help Grandma and Grandpa move houses, and I'm scared she'll have a crash or something. Maybe I should go with her. I could talk to her on the phone every night, but it's not as good as a hug. Who would I live with if Mum died? Probably Margie or Wayne and Michelle. I love my mum so much. Dear Diary, Mum said if she dies then I can stay with Wayne and Michelle if that's okay with them. I think they're very nice people. I really don't know what's best for me as I'm only 13, so I'm letting Mum choose. But I really want to stay at Margie's house. But if Mum says no, please don't. But if she does, then I guess I just wasn't meant to stay at Margie's. But I know I will be really disappointed. Dear Diary, there's this guy at school I like, but it's just a petty little crush. He has a cute face at times, but I don't like his legs. I like him better when he's wearing long pants. Well, today I had basketball training. It was fun as. Dear Diary, I'm listening to ABBA right now, but I should be asleep since I have a cold and it's like 10:39. Anyway, I was pretty sick today. Well, this morning anyway. After my English lesson, I got better. We had to do an interview for English, and in my group is Vincent, Jamie, and her boyfriend Ben. Ben is cute, 12 years old and has dark hair, but he's really loud and insensitive. But he does have a habit of being there when I'm really upset. Anyway, I think I went fine in the interview. Dear Diary, we left today at 5 a.m. Well, 5:30 a.m. On the way to Victoria, Murray Town was heaps flooded, like the whole tennis court floor was covered. We had a pretty bad storm at home last night. Well, one thunder was really bad anyway. Then we saw a turtle cross the road. Anyways, I better go to sleep. Dear Diary, today was alright. Woke up this morning with a clogged throat. Then we went to see Auntie Dori in the hospital, and after that went and got some lollies. We came home and then went to the mission. Auntie Jean is really grumpy, so I'm sitting on my bed. On the way to the meeting, we thought we might have got the times wrong and that the meeting was at 7, not 7:30 like we thought. But we got it right. There was some boys there, and on the way home, Mum was like, those boys were eyeing you off, and I'm like, whatever, but I hope they were. And I think they were, because every time I looked at them, they seem to be looking at me. All this seems to be about is guys. I'm going to think I'm so immature in a couple of years when I read this. Dear Diary, life here has been hell. Well, not that bad, but right now I'm in a bit of a mood. What I get annoyed with is Grandma's constant fussing and being in control and Grandpa's stubbornness. Yeah, they've done a lot for us, but right now I'm really frustrated with them. I'm just not in a good mood. Dear Diary, sorry about my language yesterday. I was just in a really bad mood. I don't want anyone to read this and think I'm a really mean person, because I'm not. But I have my opinions. I'm writing a story at the moment, but I think I'll start it again. I spent all afternoon writing 3 pages. All this moving stuff is way over my head. Dear Diary, I'm sick to death of this moving business. I mean, I know that Grandpa and Grandma are attached to their house, but they could at least cooperate a bit. Grandma and me and Mum just had a big fight about moving. We seem to have one every day. I'm so sick of it. I want to go home. Mum's just telling me off for telling Narelle about her getting mad at Grandpa. I'm so confused. My head's just so confused. I think I don't want to have any more to do with this. Even though Mum desperately needs help, I can't bring myself to help her because I get so worked up and confused. I'm just sick of it. Leave me alone, everyone. I just want to get out of here. I think what's confusing is that we all usually get on and now we're all fighting and it's awful. I'm going to be happy when this is all over. Actually, I'm going to be ecstatic to just get through these 2 weeks. I think I'll just leave Mum alone and do my own thing. I just want Mum and I to safely get to our safe home. Dear Diary, we left Victoria at 5:30 a.m. from the Bizak's house. Mum has been so tired. It took us 10.5 hours to get home, and Mum slept for 30 minutes and 2 10 to 15 minutes, and a couple of other stops for the toilet. Well, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, I was really bored, and when I came back from Laura's house, I was not wanting to go to Grandma's and was a little grumpy, and Grandma got hurt. Talk about touchy. It was because she asked me how Laura's was, and I said good, and she's like, pardon? And I'm like, good! And then I decided to go to bed before I snapped at anyone else. So I did, and then I wanted to sleep in the morning because I didn't get much sleep at Laura's house. So I was in bed at 10 a.m. and Grandma comes in and wakes me up and asks if I want morning tea. And I was half asleep still, and I'm like, no thanks. And then I was slowly starting to wake up and I'm like, oh no, what if she gets offended? So I'm like, thanks anyway. And then I got up to go to the toilet and I heard Grandma talking about me. She's all upset and saying I'm spoiled and stuff, and Mum was consoling her. And then Mum walks out and sees me standing there with my hands on my hips, and she whispers, say good morning to Grandma. And I started quietly imitating Grandma, and Mum laughed and she just told me to say good morning. So I did, and we were fine after that. So there's 3 lessons there. Number 1, don't be touchy. You'll only get yourself hurt. Number 2, don't talk about people behind their back. Well, I didn't actually mind her complaining like that. I actually thought it was funny, but that's because I was in a good mood. If it was someone else and not Grandma, then I might have been mad. Number 3, if you have a problem, consult the source, not people around the source, because if it turns out to be nothing and you've told everyone, then you not only embarrass the person, but you embarrass yourself, and it could ruin things for the other person, and if they find out, they might be really mad. Mum's asleep on the sofa, and I think I'll go to bed now. P.S. Good to be home. Was a bit flat at first about homework. Thanks for listening. That was the Diaries of Little Larry, age 13, part 2.